gas in the blend. Free up the guys, then dip out the ends. Jump in the ride, then burn up the rims. Don't stop, don't coach the boy, don't.
What a great time to be an Indian car enthusiast. Performance that was previously only available well on the other side of rupees 1 crore or even 2 crores is now brought to the masses relatively. At the rupees 1 crore mark, we've got the Audi RS5. Coming down just under rupees 80 lakh, you've got the Mercedes AMG A45 S. Coming further down, you've got the BMW M340i that comes in at the rupees 65 lakh mark. And it doesn't end there. At just under rupees 60 lakh, you've got the Mercedes AMG A35. Now, all of us have our own preferences. Some of it might be clear to you right now, but stick around and we'll tell you what might suit you. Whether you're shopping for a performance car to add to your garage or if it's meant to be the one fun car to do it all, we'd urge you, take a step back from that SUV and take another test drive. Any of these cars would bring a wider smile to your face, we guarantee it. Starting at the most affordable end, the A35's feisty 2.0-litre twin-scroll turbo motor may be off a regular production Mercedes, but with strengthened internals and more power, its 0 to 100 kmph run in just 4.8 seconds is about the same time hypercars from the mid-80s were posting. With all the additional bracing and chassis enhancements, not to mention the quicker steering and lower seating position, the A35 is a whole different animal to the regular A-Class.
Think of the A35 as a kind of gateway drug to performance motoring. For someone like me who's new to track driving, it's a great learning tool. The engine and gearbox are tuned with just the right amount of aggression so that you have that sense of engagement on track. And then the ride, which on the road felt a bit stiff, is perfect on this smooth tarmac where there's just the right amount of control and poise for you to sort of push your limits, but then the all-wheel drive system will always pull you back when you think you've gone too far.
And that is the crux of the A35 experience, the confidence it gives you. It might feel a little predictable, but given that torque split of a maximum of 50% to the rear, you can get on the throttle early and be pulled out knowing that it's not going to swap ends on you. It's set the third fastest lap time of the day with Bert behind the wheel, and that's saying something considering its price tag and the fact that it's the least powerful car of the four. Here's a little bit of flying lap in the M340i. Me telling you why I like this car so much. Reason number one, that B58 inline 6. On the main straight, it gives you just a little taste of that intoxicating red line up at 7,000 RPM. Tuck it into C1 and you know there's something special about the car with the way that the weight transfers. Ironically, when we drove this car on the road, we mentioned that it felt a little stiff over our bad roads of Mumbai. But here on the racetrack, it actually feels like it might be a little soft. But don't get me wrong, that does mean that it moves around under you and takes a set nice and early, just enough to let you know where your G-forces are going. And that really makes you feel like you're one with the car, part of the driving experience. So when you trail the brakes in, you feel the rear just go a little light and start to come around, but it's still sticky. And of course, when you get back on the gas, you've got so much happening to let you know just how much fun you're having. If you're driving around with the electronic nanny switched on, they do step in and save the day if you do get a little heavy-footed. But the fun thing is that in Sport Plus, they let you get away with just the right amount for you to feel like a driving god. Now, of course, being all-wheel drive, if you do push too hard, it will tend to understeer. But the key is actually just easy in, hammer out. If you want to keep things tidy, it feels like a balancing act between your foot and the throttle. Too much and the fronts would scrub away speed, too little and you wouldn't get a good drive out of corners for a fast lap. Our time lap in the M340i was unfortunately when the track temps were at their peak, but there definitely is a quicker lap in the car. It rewards smooth inputs for sure, but there's more joy in driving it hard if you ask me. Once again, the key is easy in, See the exit? Hammer out. The quickest ₹1 crore car is what we've called the Audi RS5 previously, and that assessment still holds true, being the only car we've tested to consistently match its claimed sub 4 second 0 to 100 timing even on regular fuel. That despite it being the heaviest car here and it being the most tank-like. Well, that's if a tank was powered by a rocket turbine, that is.
Under that hood sits a twin-turbo V6, and that's good for about 450 horsepower with 600 Newton meters of torque. A 0 to 100 of 3.9 seconds. Radical, incredible. This is a sedan you can go to the family wedding in, shopping with your kids in, and then just drop them off to the crash, head to the racetrack and have a hoot.
With the RS5, you truly begin to feel a technical track like the MMRT shrink around you. On the back straight, it's not uncommon to see 190 kmph flash up, speeds otherwise seen only in the ITC race cars with full race rubber. The charm of the Audi RS experience, as always, is traction for days. It's also expectedly very beginner friendly, at less than an all-out pace level. Once you put it into the hardcore RS mode and start upping the pace, you realize the RS5 isn't quite the blunt object of force you thought it would be. Smooth inputs pay off big time, with any abrupt throttle or brake applications translating to jagged body movements.
Of course, this car sits at the very top end of the pyramid in this quartet of performance cars that we've got with us. This RS5 is the only one that sits above 1 crore rupees. Feels steep, but man, just listen to that.
If you really wanted to put down lap times, we think better rubber would definitely help cut its lap times to bring it closer to the fastest car here. You'd think the world's most powerful 4-cylinder production engine would be the highlight of the AMG A45 S experience. And you'd be right, but it's a very close toss-up with the rest of the car. It all comes together to make for a car that feels light, flickable and confidence-inspiring, and that's in its least hardcore comfort mode. Turn up the beautiful AMG dynamic selector on the wheel to race, and you'd better bring your A game to keep up.
For people who genuinely enjoy performance, it's for people who genuinely enjoy the relation between man and machine. That is what the A45 is all about. You chuck it into a corner and you'll know what I'm talking about. It doesn't feel like it's some heavy luxury car that is trying to put all that power down to the road. No, it just feels like a sports car that is just arrow sharp. It's just going from apex to apex. It's just perfect.
And that's before we even get to the most trick part of the car. Inspired by its bigger brother, the E63S, this hatch has a drift mode. Its trick 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system can send up to 80% of the torque to the rear.
And in the hands of a drift monkey like Bert, oh my god, this car is a lot of fun. Too bad I can't pull drifts like he does. He has been leaving these smoke trails through every corner.
Our fastest lap of the day came with the A45S set in all-wheel drive, but again, there were definitely a few seconds left on the table, with Bert just getting 4 hot laps in each car in which to set a time.
Don't let that exterior, don't let that form factor, don't let all of that fool you. This is a serious sports car, and honestly, if I had to put my money on either one of these, it would be this. It certainly would be this.
The first super hatch in the country definitely lives up to its billing though, and considering its price tag, all its other misgivings, firm ride, small boot, are very easily forgiven. It may be the most expensive hatchback in the country, but if only Mercedes could justify making it here in India and dropping the price further, the A45S has all the potential to completely change the performance car scene in India for good.